Ben Kane is the co-founder of Steel Crate Games, who recently had a big hit with Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. Great title. Tell us what this game is.
All right, so this is a cooperative bomb defusing game. It's originally pitched as like a VR title, so we had put one person in the headset and they would have to defuse a bomb, but they would have no idea what they're doing. And the whole crux of the game is that other people outside the game have a manual that describes how to defuse any kind of bomb, but they don't get to see the bomb. So both sides need to talk it out, kind of solve these puzzles before the bomb explodes. It's all about cooperative puzzle solving.
So this has been out. It's out on the Vive. It's out on Oculus. Is it out on Oculus already?
It's out on just about everything.
And PlayStation VR. How do you ship this game? Because we're living in a digital world now, and you're probably just downloading the game and playing it. Do you have a physical version of this that comes with a manual, or is this something you got to print out?
No, this is basically entirely on the players. A lot of people do like printing it out. I think it's pretty cool when you do. But we find a lot of people just pull it up on their smartphone, use their tablet, or with something like PlayStation VR, you actually just use the TV for the manual. Easily half the game was coming up with this manual and trying to get people to communicate in interesting ways, because we found it was really easy to make a virtual reality game that had hard puzzles to solve or a manual that was really hard to understand. But to make a game where both sides kind of relied on each other and had to talk back and forth, that was the real challenge. And to do that, we went to conferences like GDC, but also PAXs and other things around the country, and just play tested the heck out of it. We did it with all sorts of gamers and non-gamers alike, and just found out how people talked and then how we could mess with that as best we could.
That is a crazy amount of R&D and research. I mean, like, how long did it take before you guys were confident that you've got a product here?
Well, we thought we had a pretty good idea after the first 48-hour game jam that we came up with this thing. But then it was another maybe 12, 14 months of a conference every 3-4 weeks just to get a thing that we could call a complete game.
I mean, it's incredibly frightening to come up with something. Is there any other game that has influenced this? Have you ever played anything remotely like this game?
We really drew more on traditional board games and things where people would participate socially, maybe without a video game involved at all. And we really drew from those sorts of things. The hardest part is just telling people what this game is and how it works, because no one expects that half the people won't actually be playing a video game, and you might need a printer to play this thing. Like, that is bizarre.
Cut the first wire.
Tell me about your company now, Steel Crate. You guys are based in Ottawa, if I'm not mistaken, right? You're based in Ottawa. And do you all work together in the studio, or do you have teleconference? I mean, there's a lot of digital studios out now. But do you guys all convene to work together on the game, or? Yeah,
we do now. Okay. We used to try the remote sort of thing. We actually made most of the game at the dining room table of my apartment. It was incredibly cramped and terrible. Nowadays we have a really small and cramped office, but it's still much better. It's a nice workspace. We can have all our equipment there. We meet up every day.
How big is the company?
It's 3 of us. 3 of us full time. To make Keep Talking, we also contracted out for art and music. So I guess the biggest we would be is 5 at any time.
Talk to me about the Ottawa scene. Are there other game developers in the community out there? Is it starting to grow? What's happening out there?
Yeah, so Ottawa has a college with a great game development program, so they push out a lot of new game development grads, and that means we have a really thriving sort of independent developer scene. We do a meetup every month. Everyone just comes, shows what they're working on. We share ideas and support each other. Other than that, we're seeing other studios in town, like Breakfall made a game called Starwall that was a pretty good success. And yeah, there's more and more little ones popping up. We don't have the big anchor studio yet, but it's nice to see a thriving indie community.
Okay, that worked.
What do you do now? Do you try to build something that hasn't been built before, or do you maybe take a little more conservative approach to working in a genre that people are familiar with?
We're definitely into the more innovative kind of space. That's what appeals to us. One of the weird things is we've been in virtual reality for so long now. Like, we've been working on the game for over 3 years. That virtual reality itself has gotten way more interesting than what we were working with. So now there's room scale and there's motion controllers. All of those things seem really fascinating, and we want to know what really makes them kind of pop. Why would somebody want to make something with that tech? So we want to rediscover VR, see what's worth doing nowadays.
Awesome. So it sounds to me that a sequel doesn't sound like that's happening.
I wouldn't say a direct sequel.
Yeah.
That seems like it's a game based on what was novel a couple years ago.
Yeah.
We still love the core concepts of people having to communicate and maybe making a game based on that. But no, I don't think you'll just see new bombs in a new location. We'll do something more than that.
Hey, thanks for checking out that video on our EPN channel. It's just one small part of the things that we make around here. So if you liked it, don't forget to check out some of our other vids and hit that subscribe button.